Welcome to the Pitmaster Podcast. We're barbecue competition competitors that aim to share information, advice, tips, and tall tales about our favorite pastime. Head over to thepitmasterpodcast.com for all things Pitmasters, or follow us on your favorite social media platform. And now, here are the hosts of the Pitmaster Podcast, the two-time Grand Champion, SCA World Champion finalist, and barbecue specialist of Smoke Ain't No Joke Barbecue, the Anthony Luan, and the 24-time Grand and Reserve Grand Champion, Reserve World Grand Champion, Windover High Roller Champion, and the founder of Pitmaster Barbecue Supply Company stores in Utah, the old man himself from Big Johnson's Barbecue, Jesse Johnson.
This is Greg Rempe from the Barbecue Central Show, and you are listening to the Pitmasters Podcast, and they are doing it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill. I just said that. They're going to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yes, live. They're going to do it live.
What's up, Pitmasters? What's up, Derek?
What's going on? I'm not Jesse Johnson. Tits McGee's on vacation.
Yeah, you're not the old man himself. You're the young stallion out of San Diego. How you doing, my man?
Out of San Diego via Denver, coming to you live, streaming from my casting couch in the hotel room.
Nice. The casting couch. I love the casting couch. Yeah, man. So we're kind of doing a special episode. Something huge went down this weekend. That we had our first qualifiers qualify for the Barbecue World Cup, put their name in the hat to try to win $1 million, man. We had AJ Garza from God's Country Barbecue that pulled out the RGC and Uncle Jesse's Barbecue. So as the RGCs, but did you know the Pitmasters Podcast is the official sponsor of the West Coast Barbecue?
There we go. Love it.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do a little bit different starting tonight is we're just gonna give a quick, just recap on what happened on the West Coast. So. Technically, Bullhead City was the first SEA competition of the season. We got to give a big shout out to Jim Williams for locking it down first place and winning his golden ticket. The man retired. He was done competing. He just wanted to kind of concentrate on, catering and everything. And his wife came to him literally last week and said, I think you should start doing competitions again. Jumped in, fuck around, and won.
Right? Okay. All right.
All right.
He got sucked back in and he took over like a boss, huh?
Exactly. And then, yes, that was a Friday night cook, just a single steak. And then we all rolled into the 11th annual Slaborama, where once again we talked about God's Country Barbecue pulling on the GC at a 706.2515. Got a 7
Very nice.
in. And then also RGC, Uncle Jess's Barbecue, coming in at 706.2512. We are talking tight. All that was is one judge writing a 9 to an 8. Literally one judge. But it's all good. And then a rundown. We got chicken. Took first place was Porterhouse. Ribs, we had God Country Barbecue, got his 180 pin. Pork Sling of Meats, 180. And then Brisket and Barbecue hit a 180 as well.
Lamar. Congrats, everybody.
Yeah, definitely. What is new with you, man? Oh, man, we got Todd Bullock in here. Pressure on.
Oh, I know Todd. Okay.
Yes.
But nothing new with me. I did miss Bullhead. I've only hit Bullhead once in my competition career, and I didn't even cook it. I just went out there, and that's when I learned to become a social butterfly and just kind of bounce around from camp to camp. So I did miss out this year. I knew you were there. There are a lot of great teams that were out there this year that I kind of missed out on. And that's kind of like that's the groundbreaker on the West Coast for 2026 competition barbecue. So I know next weekend, if you are on the West Coast in California, especially Southern California, we have Golden State Battle in Riverside this year. So that's going to be in Riverside at the Magnolia Church. So that is a KCBS contest. So some people are coming in hot straight off of Bullhead, going down to Riverside. So that's going to be a fun one to check out as well.
Heck yeah, and Brennan Nilsson's checking in. Congratulations to you, Brennan, RGC. Put your name in the hat as well, pal. We'll talk to you next week. But yeah, man, it was a pretty cool event. I scored a solid 11th place in my steak. Missed a little walk, but it's all good. For some strange reason, Arizona just doesn't like my steaks. I've always struggled there in Vegas. It's very odd. I don't know what it is.
Is it even the same judging pool, Vegas and Arizona?
It's right there. Vegas
right?
is what, an hour and a half away
So it
from
is going to be the
Bullhead.
same
So
judges.
yeah,
Okay.
same judges. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, oh well, we'll just cook it, see what happens. Oh well. The books are read. So yeah, but man, let's go to talk to AJ and let's
Yeah.
get a rundown on what happened with this event, because dude, we're talking about 5 mile an hour, 10, 15, 20, 30 mile an hour wind gusts, just randomly, it
Yeah.
slowly built up, died, built up, died. It was a wild event. So managing your smokers as well was also in the play as well. But let's go talk to him, man, and see what got him to qualify.
Let's bring him in.
This is the single best investment you can make to become a better cook.
Thermopen 1 is the best thermometer I've ever had.
My thermometer of choice is ThermoWorks.
When it comes to quality that I can trust, this is the company that I go to over and over again.
There may be other thermometers out there, but there aren't other Thermopens.
AJ, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Good. How are y'all, man?
Good.
Doing good.
Has the hype wore off yet? Has it hit you yet?
I still got it.
Yeah.
There we go.
The whole way back. The whole way back.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. What we like to do with our guests is just kind of hit that small rewind button. Let's talk about how you got into barbecue, man. Let's talk about how you got from starting your first fire to qualifying for the Barbecue World Cup and put your name in the hat for $1 million.
Yeah. So growing up, my father always cooked every weekend. Seemed like every weekend he was cooking. Brisket was his meat that everybody wanted. So growing up, the families come over, the neighbors will come over, and it'll be a great time. So probably around 2018, I went and bought my first smoker. I really didn't. My dad did it growing up, but I really didn't, pick up actually barbecuing until, like I said, around 2018. So around that time, I was 28. So I bought my smoker, started cooking for friends and neighbors and family. And then one of them convinced me, hey, you should probably do a cook-off. You make pretty good brisket. So look at the schedule. There's a cook-off in the city next door. We go and actually cook that cook-off, get 8th place in brisket. And from there, I was hooked. I was like, hey,
Yeah, bit.
Yeah.
Yep, got it, and it actually got me, after that, I was like, I could probably start doing this. So from there, that was like in 2019. So in 2020, of course, COVID hit. There really wasn't a lot of cook-offs, especially down here in Texas. There was Lone Star Barbecue Society. They were pretty much the only ones that were actually having cook-offs. So started doing a lot of that. I really fell in love with the competitive barbecue, the cook-offs, and made a lot of great friends. Started venturing off into IBCA. Shortly after that, CBA came along, and in 2022, I really hit it hard. I think that year we probably cooked 28 weekends.
Okay.
We cooked quite a bit. Ended up winning Team of the Year in brisket in CBA that year, and from there, just here and there. After that, I really didn't chase points anymore. But after that, if a cook-off popped up, piqued my interest, we go to it. Or if the family really could. So my son was born June of 24. So that kind of put a halt to things for a while, but he can walk now and mom was fine with it. So we go out now.
There we go.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, I was set up kind of right in front of you, kind of. What was going through your mind after you took your walk, like you kind of knew it was locked up mathematically? I knew you were locked up. I was like running the numbers in my head. I was like, that dude won. He won. Yeah. He won. And then I looked back at you and you were sitting there. You had this nervous look on it. Like
I was
you're
nervous.
Like, shit, is it? You're like, it's me. I know it's me, but is it really me? I just need them to say it. So what was going through your mind at that point when, the last competitor was going up and, getting ready to start the overalls to you? What was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah. So my brisket, like I said, Team of the Year in brisket, I cook a pretty good brisket. So we get down to second place, we'll get that walk in second place brisket. And I look over at my wife. I was like, man, we might win this thing. The reason why I was nervous was because of my chicken. and my chicken was done probably about 35 minutes early.
Oh,
And I put it in the Cambro, pulled it out, and boxed it. Had some left over, so I try it, and I just didn't like the skin. I need a skin. I was like, man, the skin, it's not a bite through skin. It's not what I'm looking for. So that really it worried me. And so we go on the ribs and get first place ribs and fourth place pork and second brisket. And I'm like, so I'm. And I knew Uncle Jesse's right behind me. There's a couple other people. That if I tank chicken so bad, and I'm like second to last, this is going to be embarrassing. So I was nervous
because we've all seen that happen too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're at a cook-off and we're watching another live stream of another awards, and we're like, man, this guy got it in the bag. And they start calling overall, and he gets like 8th overall. We're like, dude.
Yeah, everybody starts doing barbecue math in their head based on how many teams are like, oh, they must have got over 25th.
Yeah. So we go back and look at that contest. I think he got, he did bad in one of the meets. Yeah. But so I was worried, that was gonna happen to me. I was like, dang, hopefully this won't happen. So, thankfully we get down third. It's loot and booty. So I was like, all right, if we reserve it, we still got our ticket.
Right.
Of course I wanted a GC. So then they call Uncle Jesse's reserve, and I was like, just that weight lifted off my shoulders. Like, all right, finally, I could breathe a little bit. So yeah, that was. I was nervous though.
Was everybody looking at you too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. Everybody knew.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. And you had about 6 or 7 people there supporting you. It looked like your family.
Yeah, my family was there, and then I also had a good friend of mine. Consider my dad, my pops. Actually met him through competitive barbecue and these cook-offs. I met him there, and him and his family. They treat me like one of their own. Nice. And so. In December, that's how we ended up out there. Is in December, right before Christmas, we're on the phone and we saw this. It was a TikTok video or something we saw about this barbecue World Cup chance at winning $1 million, and Bullhead City was on the map. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to him about it. Hey, what do you think about going up here to Bullhead? You think we got a chance? He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
Ain't nothing ever held us back. Yeah, ain't nothing ever held us back. So we're like, all right, let's do it. So told the wife, she's like, all right, let's go.
Heck yeah. So what do you think set your food apart in Bullhead? Was it, your flavor profile, your tenderness? Was it something completely different entirely? What do you think? Because you walked every single category except for chicken, right?
Right.
What do you think set it apart? What do you think in your mind that really popped in the judges pro tent during the judging?
I think it was a combination of the tenderness, because besides the chicken, my ribs were tender. It was a nice bite through. My pork, my money muscles were on fire, like they were just perfect. And then my brisket, when I sliced into that brisket, even the burn ends, I cut the burn ends first, and like I said, my pop Sergio, he's next to me, and I said, check him out. And he's like, I don't want to try them yet. I said, okay, well, just squeeze them. So he squeezed them, and he's like, yeah, they might be good.
There we go.
So I was looking at them. My wife jumps in the trailer with us real quick, and she's like, man, those look good. And I just got to cutting them up. I was like, and she never says that. She don't like when I turn in burn ends. I don't like it. So, but everything, I think it was, in saying that, the tenderness was a big part of it, but then also the flavor. And on the ribs, I actually put an audible there at the end, and I was thinking about maybe going just a little bit peppery, and I was like, man, I better not. I'm gonna put audible last minute, changed it up, went sweet, and it worked.
No, good call. Good call.
Yeah, that was a great call. Yeah.
So
the only other question I would have is, so you've done CBA as well, ICBA. So do you run different? You run different motors for those different playbooks, or would you kind of mix them and just kind of shoot? But like you said, you initially, your gut instinct was to go peppery with the ribs, but you knew that, hey, you know what? Let me pull back on that and go sweet.
Yeah. So I pulled that audible, like I said, on the ribs, and I kept that sweetness on the pork, because if not, I would have ran that same dunk, which is it's my dunk that I use on my ribs. I'll end up using it for my money muscles, and I'll dust, or I'll glaze them with that at the end. But I said, I don't want to go sweet. We're up here outside of Texas, of course, in Arizona, and they might want it sweet. They might not want it too much heat on it. So But besides that, everything else in my injection, my seasoning, all that was the same except for those two. There were actually that one sauce was
Okay.
at the finish, and I went sweet instead of that heat. What I typically do here in Texas. Now, any other cook off IBCA Texas, if I'm on West Texas, East Texas, North Texas, it's going to be the same. I'm not going to change it.
Okay.
Right. Got it. So my question is now that you qualified for the Barbecue World Cup, does it add a little bit of extra pride to you, or does it add more pressure to be able to keep it going? Or
I think
both?
both.
Yeah.
I think both. You know, the pride for sure. And I'm blessed. You know,
Yeah.
just to be given the opportunity to go up there to Vegas, you know, and compete for $1 million. That's awesome.
Right.
But it is some pressure too.
Yeah.
You know, going to the next cook-off, it'll be in actually 2 weeks at the San Antonio Rodeo, and there will be at least 300 teams there.
Wow.
So it's a big cook-off, you know, and I need to go there and do it again. You know,
Right.
that's the plan.
Is this going to be your first world championship that you're going to be chasing? Have you qualified for, you know, like the American Royal or Jack before?
I've gone to the American Royal once.
Okay.
2 years ago. It would have been 3 years ago now, 23.
Okay.
We went to the American Royal.
Was that
and
invitational or open?
Invitational.
So it was. So the Royal was your very first
Yep.
chance for world
Yeah.
championship.
Mhm.
That is awesome. So, and I think from what I'm gathering that this is going to be a legit world championship where they want to get other teams from everywhere. It's not like American baseball world championships, right? World Series, no, just because it happened in the United States, no, but they are really pushing this on an international level to be able to get real big international teams here, which is crazy. Man, that would have me shook.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. You know, it's like you play it cool. You're like, I'm good. And when that competition shows up in 2027, I think that's when it's gonna get real. You're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's when you're to start overthinking yourself. Like, what do I run? You know, don't change a thing. Whatever you ran, like you heard me at the start of the show. Arizona and Las Vegas judges don't like whatever I'm doing, but apparently they loved what you were doing, and I would stay with that program.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and that's what I told Sergio. I said, hey, we're like an hour. What is it? An hour and a half from Vegas.
Yeah,
where we were, and I told him whatever we run here, I bet they're gonna like it up there in Vegas. You know, so this is a good location to try. You know, if you're gonna try something, try it here because you'll know what they like or don't like here.
Right. And was there like other than you made some sauce changes? Was there any other strategy change, or did you just pretty much just stick to the program? Other than the chicken came off too early, and then changing the sauce. Was there any like game time decisions? Was it like, oh, I'm just gonna run this and we're sticking to this? Anything like? Did you change any like product, pork, brisket, anything like that? Was there any last minute changes?
Yeah. So on my pork, what I typically do is I'll throw in some shred, you know, some pulled pork in there. And, you know, I think Derek was talking about it earlier about how the pits, you know, how they fluctuated up and down because of the wind or may have been you, Anthony. But that happened to me on my pork butt. I pulled it off and let it rest like I normally do. And when I went to go pull it, it was a little bit tougher. It wasn't tender.
It tightened up a lot more.
Oh yeah, it tightened up real bad. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm not gonna mess with it. So I just threw money mussels in the box.
Okay.
Just did that, ran monies, and it worked. And then on the ribs, I cut them a little bit. I should have probably taken another rack and cooked 4, but it was I cut them a little bit different than normal. So I try to salvage some meat on the other side, and it worked out.
Okay.
So that really helped out. But besides that, you know, the way I cut the brisket and the burn ends, everything else is the same.
Right. And then how do you rank your cook? What is your strongest category, and what do you feel like is one that could use a little bit of improvement? I don't want to say the weakest because obviously you are in the scenario you're in, but
now so it's between my brisket. A brisket for years has been my strongest, but here lately it's been up and down. My ribs have saved me a lot. So my ribs, I would say this year, or the past year, it's been my ribs that have been the strongest, and then my weakest for the past couple years has been chicken.
Okay.
So for a while there, I couldn't buy a top 10 chicken, probably not even a top 20.
Chicken is a weird beast, man. I
Yeah.
honestly, after from talking to a few people this weekend, I really think it is the production of the chicken.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah.
I think it is who you get the chicken from and if it's a quality chicken at that time.
Yeah.
I really think that's what it comes down to. I don't cook much chicken. I'm going to this year and see what I can figure out. But I just feel like chicken it hits or misses. It's like throwing a dart at a dartboard blind.
Yeah.
Really? What do you think? What do you think, Derek, man? Chicken is a bitch.
You know what? I always thought chicken should have been the easiest category. Then I got into competition, and then chicken was so challenging for me. And you're right. But the thing is, I was consistent. I was consistently bad with chicken. It didn't matter what type. It could have been organic, natural, grass. It didn't matter. But after just like the field out in Bullhead, if you think about it, you have somebody there. There's girls can grill. You have so many top performing teams there that you can pick their brains, and most of them will kind of give you some insight. You're like, I was struggling for the longest time. I was asking Smitty because I was cooking on a pellet cooker at the time, and I remember just bouncing around, just like, I don't get it. Like, what am I doing wrong? And the biggest thing I learned for me was to bring them up higher in temperature. Pellet cooker wasn't my style, and I know some people do go for fatty chicken if they're cooking legs. They're like, I go for the most generic, fattiest, yellowest looking chicken because I'm putting it on a drum, so it's gonna get hammered. Versus, they went and go cooked at the Jack and they didn't find that fatty chicken. They got that air chilled, natural fed. They take it out of the wrap and every skin is blown. You know what I mean? So they're seeing the difference in types of chicken, but it's a weird game. It really is, because you don't really see that with pork. With pork, it's just either marbled or super marbled for the most part. You know what I mean? And then same thing with brisket. It's just different grades. But with chicken, it's like, yeah, is it pasture raised? Is it air chilled? Is it not? Is it organic? I find that to be the challenge as to what you're cooking on and what type of chicken you're getting. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And it's crazy. It's always just chicken, across the board. Some in competition brisket, you're going to be running a Wagyu of some type.
Right.
Pork is very easy. A lot of people will run like a Prairie Fresh or, just a Compart. Even some people just run just a Costco pork because it seems to be very similar across the board. There's not too much, but the fucking chicken, it really.
Yeah.
Right.
I
AJ,
just don't know.
Are you doing thighs or are you doing legs for KCDS?
Thighs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're also used to doing half chickens back at home, then, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half chickens is wild. Half
Right?
chickens is just
Yeah,
wild.
and seeing here in Texas at the Walmart, and maybe y'all get them up there, but we had Sanderson Farms, and I love cooking Sanderson Farms. And within the last probably 6-8 months, they stopped selling Sanderson Farms. Now they're selling Tyson. So
Yep. Walmart's good about that.
Yeah.
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 Well, I just think that big corporations come out and ruin something that's already great. I hate to say it, but the Chinese came in and bought Smithfield.
Yep.
And I feel like they messed up the pork's still the same, but they changed the style. They take the money muscles off, they take off the fat cap, and then Tyson comes along and buys chickens, and it sucks that the big names come in and take away those things. I understand it. I'm not taking away for anybody who sells out and sells their chicken farm because, yeah, the money's there. Take it. I would do the same thing, but it really does suck when you find something good quality and then it just goes away.
Right.
It really does. But man, we don't want to keep you too much longer, but I want to know who was behind you, who had your back to be able to get to where you are today. Who was some of those teams or those companies that stepped up behind you and just, like, we have confidence in you to push you to this level?
I'll give it to LC Barbecue, Phil Breeden.
Yeah.
He's I help him out with his classes all the time, and he lives down the road from me about 15-20 minutes. And he puts on a class since the beginning. He says, hey, come on, So he's actually got a class coming up in March, so I'll be there with him, helping him out. But he's always had my back. I can call him and ask him, hey, what do you think? And he'll shoot straight with me. So I give him a lot of credit there. He's always helped me out, especially with seasonings, and he's come out with this new barbecue sauce, so he's always helped me. Besides them, Quattro D, their drums. Bobby Delgado, he's got a good drum, and I've been cooking on that for a couple of years now. And besides him, just the friends and the family, I like to say that I've made throughout the way. Sergio Chapa, Coyote Cookers, Billy Ruff with Roughed Up Barbecue, and Derek Burnell, Heavy's Barbecue, Louis Gonzalez with Double D Barbecue, and those guys. Those are a lot of great guys that I can call and say, hey, what do you think? And they'll shoot me straight. They'll give me honest feedback, and we'll help each other out. So I give credit to those guys.
Right. And then what word of wisdom do you have to the guy that's just barely starting to get into the barbecue world, and then also to the teams that are going to be chasing the World Cup? What can you tell them to possibly get to there to compete with you in Las Vegas in 2027?
Well, to the new guys, what I would say is take notes. Some people, they go to cook-offs and they go from one cook-off to the next, and they don't remember what they did last week. So for me, that's crucial. My week in, week out, my timelines, all that, I'll write it down. And I'm not really, strict on, hey, I'm 10 minutes past. As long as I'm within the time, it's okay for me. But keeping notes, that's the biggest part. The other thing, these qualifying events is just go out and cook. You know what you can do. It can be anybody's week that week. You just got to be able to cook your meats, the right way, what you know how to do, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go out there and drive 1,000, 2,000 mile round trip. I'm sorry, and risk it. Chance it. Take those chances.
Right. And the kind of stack on top of that, I haven't competed KCBS for a while, but there's only one person that can beat you is yourself, right? As long as you go out there and try to beat yourself every competition, you will improve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trust me, I shit the bed for the state championship here in Utah, man. I got in my own head, and I took myself out of the game. And it's just, you just got to be confident, and that's what you got to do. And it happens, but then again, it's me. I do what I do.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, if anybody has any questions or, just wants to reach out to you, obviously keep everything tight to your pocket on exactly what you're doing. But if they want to reach out to you and get some tips or things like that, where can they get a hold of you at?
On my Facebook or Instagram, it's God's Country Barbecue. And then on my Instagram, it's God's_country_ BBQ. So if they want to reach out to me, send me a message there. And
heck yeah, I'm going to be sending you a message right after this. I need your chicken recipe.
Yeah.
I really do. I need to find a baseline, man. I like I said, I'm going to be doing a couple this year, but I need to find a baseline on chicken. So sounds good. All right. Well, thanks for taking some time and saying hi, and congratulations on making
very
that
nice.
happen. Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of
Absolutely.
course.
Thanks
man.
for taking the time,
Yep.
man.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
All right, guys.
All right, man. We'll see you.
See you.